Why do we assume that if you aren't crawling out of the gym in a pool of sweat, you didn't work out hard enough? Here's the truth. It's not about how long you work out, it's about how effectively your muscles experience tension. That's why I'm showing you how to work out less but feel significantly stronger. This'll probably feel like cheating, but it's all backed by hard physiology. So if doing more is off the table, how do we fix the machinery without stripping the screws? The answer is isometrics. Stillness, but with extreme pressure. Isometrics are exercises where you hold a position under maximum tension without moving an inch. There is no lengthening or shortening of the muscle, just pure unadulterated squeeze. And there is a ridiculously simple 2-second dimmer switch adjustment you can make to how you apply force that unlocks strengths you didn't know you had. But we'll get to that specific technique in just a minute. To understand why this works, we have to look at the workforce inside your muscles. Your muscle fibers are like employees in a corporate office. When you lift a light weight for high reps, you're only sending the interns to do the work. They are low energy and cheap to employ. The big bosses, the high threshold motor units that generate real power, stay in their offices playing solitaire because the task is too easy. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology shows that maximal isometric contractions allow you to recruit nearly all of your motor units simultaneously. You're calling an emergency all-hands meeting. By forcing your muscles to stabilize a heavy load without movement, you teach your nervous system to fire harder and more efficiently. You get the strength stimulus of a heavy 1-rep max without the dangerous forces on your joints that usually come with heavy lifting. Before we dive into the 2 ways to execute this, I want you to understand something crucial. The people who stay strong and injury-free for decades have built bodies that are resilient, not just strong. That's the piece most people miss, and it's the entire focus of the ebook I created. It's a step-by-step guide with the overlooked exercises that build stability and mobility so you can keep getting stronger without those nagging aches. It's the complete blueprint to getting your body moving and feeling the way you want it to. You can scan the QR code on screen with your phone, or you can check it out using the link in the description below after the video. There are 2 main types of isometrics you need to know: yielding and overcoming. Yielding isometrics is where you fight a losing battle against gravity to not collapse. Think of a split squat hold. You drop down into a lunge position, back knee hovering an inch off the ground, and you just exist. Within 10 seconds, your quads will feel like they're being microwaved. You aren't moving, but your muscles are working overtime to prevent gravity from smashing you into the floor. This builds incredible muscular endurance and tendon stiffness. Then don't worry, stiffness in tendons is actually a superpower. It makes you more bouncy and athletic, not rigid. Overcoming isometrics is where you try to move an immovable object, like the doorway push. Picture yourself standing in a doorway. You place your hands on the frame and push outward as hard as you possibly can. The frame isn't going to move, unless you have a really cheap contractor, but your chest, shoulders, and triceps are fully engaged. You can also do this by simply pushing against a wall or any other immovable object. Also, before I forget, I have a completely free weekly newsletter where I send out fitness tips and strategies that you may find helpful. If you want to join the FitZip Club, you can join by using the link in the description below. Now, remember that dimmer switch trick I mentioned? This is vital for the overcoming isometrics, like the doorway push. When you push against a wall, most guys make the mistake of going from 0 to 100 instantly. Don't do that. Instead, treat your nervous system like a dimmer switch, not a light switch. Spend 2 seconds ramping up to 50% effort, 2 seconds getting to 80%, and then give it maximum effort for 6 seconds. This neural flood primes the nervous system and ensures safety while teaching your brain to output max power on command. And here is a nice cherry on top. Isometrics have an analgesic effect. Studies suggest that heavy isometric holds can actually reduce tendon pain immediately after doing them. Because there's no friction of the joint rubbing back and forth, you can load the muscle heavily without irritating the cartilage. It's the perfect antidote for the guy who has bad knees but still wants tree trunk legs. Like I said, you don't need to live in the gym to see results from this. Pick one yielding hold, like the split squat, and one overcoming hold, like the doorway push. Do 3 sets of each, hold for 30 to 45 seconds on the yielding moves to cook the muscle, and do the 6-second max effort dimmer switch ramp on the overcoming moves. That's it. You stimulate the muscle, spare the joints, and get back to your life. And don't forget to check out that ebook I mentioned earlier in the video. If you want to continue to stay fit for the long run, do yourself a solid and grab a copy. Your future self will thank you.